go. So super excited to be here with each and every one of you today. Whoever's with me, say hi, hi, hi. Let me know that you are here. This is day 11 of my 30-day challenge for those of you who are following me. I'm very excited to share this topic today. And a very quick introduction. I'm hoping to make this one short today. Short and sweet, yes? Considering it's Thursday. I just finished my 1-hour show, which was Joanne's Healing Within. Some of you had an opportunity to watch it, I hope. So anyway, quick introduction. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon, your holistic integrated teacher, Reiki master, Reiki teacher, card reader, card creator, licensed and certified holistic personal trainer, medical astrologer. The list goes on and goes on and goes on. I have been in the health and fitness wellness industry since I'm 12. I'm 53 and a half, and I have also been in the mystical industry, woo-woo, shall we say, for the last, 15 plus years. I've started blending the two together, and now I help clients like yourself with the physical and the spiritual, bridging them together holistically as a holistic unit. And today I'm going to be sharing my day 11 of my 30-day challenge. And what exactly is the 30-day challenge? Well, it's all about sharing, teaching, and inspiring you about anything relating to strength training and everything in between. 1 second. So today I want to share with you the topic about spot reducing, spot training. What exactly is spot reducing, spot training? Now, whether you work out or not, and I'm hoping that for those ladies over 40, if you have not started your strength training routine just yet, maybe today will be the day that inspires you to do just that. Because all women over the age of 40 need to be strength training. Why is it so important for all women to be strength training over the age of 40? For many, many reasons, but just to name a few, strength training is extremely important to help you gain strength to do your functional activities, such as carry your laundry bag, bring your groceries in from your car, or carry the groceries from the store. Literally get up out of a chair. Like literally, when you think about it, if you're sitting, you do require strength in your arms to literally get up out of a chair. You require strength in your legs to get up out of a chair. Then that's a functional thing. Thinking about it, that if you are not strong enough, sometimes you may have a challenging time getting up out of a chair. Strength training, I can't talk right now. Strength training also improves your body composition and helps you to decrease fat tissue and improve muscle tissue. Therefore, and it's the only activity that you can do that's actually going to do that for you. Therefore, that's why it's so darn important, because it does improve your metabolic rate. After strength training, you have up into an 8-hour afterburn where your metabolism is revved up, helping you to burn more calories throughout the day. That's fat calories for that matter. So the question that comes upon for today's conversation is about spot reducing, spot training. And this topic was inspired from me watching a TikTok video in regards to a person speaking with their trainer and asking their trainer to give them specific exercises to work on a specific area of their body. And I was really hoping that the trainer was going to go into the conversation about how we cannot spot reduce. So for example, if you wanted to, the big one is really about core. So many people are so interested in having their physique where their six-pack theoretically shows. They get striations in the abdominal muscles and their six-pack shows. Now, in theory, we all have the ability to having what's called a six-pack. That means you have your abdominal muscles are divided in 6 sections. And we all have the ability to doing just that. However, in order for your six-pack to actually be visible, it really is about your dietary habits and getting your body fat down to a very low percentage in order for your abdominal muscles to show a six-pack. And what do I mean by a very low body fat percentage? For women, anything under 8%, carrying an 8% body fat, will allow your sterilizations in your abdominals to show up. As a former natural competitive bodybuilder, it is not easy nor healthy to maintain a 8% body fat. It's not, I would almost go to the extreme of saying it's not even, what's the word I'm looking for? Easy nor healthy. We're gonna go there. Easy nor healthy. It means that you do have to restrict your food intake to get to that point where you're going to be able to maintain that body fat, that low. In regards to men, a body fat anywhere between less than 6% for their sterilizations to show up in the abdominal muscles. Now, if someone was to spend a lot of time doing different types of exercises for the abdominals, just to name a few, let's say crunches or diagonals or leg raises or side bends, with the hopes that they're going to get the abdominal muscles to show up where their sterilizations are there. The exercises, the reason for the exercise is to help strengthen the internal muscle, the layer on the inside, to strengthen those muscles so your entire core is strong enough to be able to theoretically stand up. When your core muscles are not strong enough, and this is now going from the abdominal muscles to your spinal, your lumbar, your hips as well, your entire core. If your core muscles are not strong enough, what will happen is over time, you will start to fall in due to the fact that the muscles are not strong enough. So the reason why one would choose to do abdominal exercises is purely for the factor of helping the abdominal muscles become stronger. Now, do you actually need to do abdominal exercises for your core muscles to get stronger? The answer is theoretically no. And what do I mean by that? And I know that there's lots of videos out there about like, do 20 minutes of intense core, get down on the floor and do a 1 minute plank. And all of this is going to help you restructure your abdominal muscles and for your six-pack to show up. In theory, you do not have to do any of that in order to strengthen your core muscles. When you exercise, if you are standing and you are performing an exercise and you are engaging your abdominal muscles, and what I mean by engaging your abdominal muscles, it means you're literally pushing your belly button in, thinking about pushing your belly button to the back wall. So you're engaging those muscles. Right off the back, by doing that, that starts to fire up all the muscles in the abdominals from the lower transverse to the internal, external obliques to the rectus abdominals. The minute you pull your belly button in, think about pushing it to the back wall, you're firing up those muscles. And anytime you're standing, so if you're standing doing an overhead press, you're standing doing a lunge, you're standing to get ready to go into a squat, you're just standing. Think about pulling your abdominal muscles in, and you are literally working your core muscles. So you do not need to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, all your energy on building a strong core. Now, if you are focusing on doing a specific exercise because you really want to spot reduce, there is no such thing as spot reducing or what we call spot training. And the term spot training is focusing on, we'll say, for women out there who are wanting to get stronger or leaner arms. They call, I think women call this like the bat wings. I think that was the term I heard. So wanting to get stronger arms, so ideally you're going to sit there and focus on doing different exercises for your triceps, and you're only working on the triceps because you don't really want to work on the biceps for whatever the reasons are. And you think by spot training That's going to be the very thing that's going to help the arms get smaller. The conversation I'm about to have with you right now is about not about a calorie deficit. It's about your spiritual makeup. And what do I mean by that? I speak a lot about the metaphysical. So when we think about the metaphysical means that there's a medical explanation to why we carry specific weight on certain areas of our bodies. So let's look at it this way, because we were talking about the arms. Think about your arms. If your arms are not the desired arms to what you would like them to be, maybe you're carrying a little weight on the arms and the arms are not tight, because that's what the strength training does. The strength training tightens up the arms so they have a better composition to them. If that is the case, that may very well mean that, spiritually speaking, you have carried so much weight, you have carried so much energy from others that it literally, the energy sits in your arms. So what's going to help trim down the arms for the composition in your arms to look different, the shape of your arms are going to look different, is a combination of releasing the emotional story to the things that you've carried. So if you are someone that carries a lot of worry, you carry a lot of stress, you carry a lot of anxiety, you're carrying it in your arms. So work on releasing the mindset of whatever it is you are focused on, in addition to strengthening your triceps, strengthening your biceps, so you can reshape both the front and the back of the arms. So as you reshape and recompose your arms will start to be more defined and take on a different shape. So it's not about restricting your calories so you can start to quote unquote lose weight. It really is about evaluating your spiritual story. Your spiritual story. What is it that you are carrying on an emotional level? The same concept goes when you're thinking about any other area of your body. So if you do hold weight in your midsection, in theory, when we talk about the midsection and holding weight there, think about your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is all about your gut intuition, trusting, not trusting, feeling safe, not feeling safe. So if there is something that is going on in your life where you're not trusting the situation, you're not feeling secure about it, you're not feeling safe, you're not feeling protected, that's where all the stress is going to sit, in your midsection. And therefore, if you're holding stress, anxiety, your midsection may look a little plump because of what you're not trusting. So again, go back to the whole concept of how can I release the emotional connection to whatever it is I'm not trusting. And upon doing that, and yes, engaging in the different exercises to help strengthen the upper abdominals, which would be your rectus abdominal, your lower abdominal, which would be your transverse, and then your internal external obliques, which is your waistline. So if you're doing a lot of rotations thinking that you're going to trim down your waistline, but you are not focusing on what is it you're not trusting, what is it you don't feel safe about, what is it you don't feel protected about, you're going to hold on to that until you work on releasing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. And once you do that, then you'll start to notice the midsection changing. Now, again, the exercise is there to help to strengthen the muscle. It's not about spot training it where like, I'm going to work this muscle every single day so my waistline can come down or my abdominals can, I can get that six pack. It really is about strengthening those muscles, doing those exercises to strengthen the muscle. And as I said earlier, You don't necessarily have to perform those exercises. You can actually just engage your abdominals when standing. Anytime you're going to do an exercise that requires you to stand, overhead press, lunges, squats, pull-ups, full push-ups. These are all exercises that immediately engages your abdominal muscles, because immediately your muscle has to go into that contracted state. So everything gets fired up. And this is how you help to make the muscle stronger. As for the appearance of it, is really about going and discovering what it is you're afraid of, what it is you're insecure about, what it is you're not trusting, what it is you're worried about. All of that sits in the midsection. Now, if you happen to carry weight on your hips, where let's say you're more bottom heavy, that could be because, again, what are you carrying in regards to decision making? What are you carrying in regards to not being able to move forward? So all of this is, if you turn around and were to say, okay, I'm going to work my lower body 3 days a week because I want to trim down my legs, I want to trim down my hips, I want to trim down my butt. It's going to help you reshape your hips, butt, and thighs in reference to seeing a shift in the body composition. But it really is about coming back to your decision making, your fears, your doubts, not feeling supported, not feeling protected, not feeling safe, your anxiousness. Your anxiousness. In fact, in theory, when we really talk about the whole process of releasing and wanting to be lighter on the scale, the best way to release and be lighter on the scale, theoretically, is to move more into your joy. When you are joyful, when you are happy, when you are laughing, your entire energy field shifts because you're no longer holding on to resistance of, let's say, anger or fear or sadness or grief or despair or frustration. You let go of all the heavy emotions. So I'm hoping that this is making sense for you in one way or another, where it's not about spot reduction. We're not going to sit there and say, I'm going to go into a calorie deficit. So it means I'm going to eat less calories and go ahead and do those particular exercises so I can trim down. The calorie deficit is not the key to this. This is really about, let's research your story. And the word I use, and you may not be familiar with it, Chiron wound. Your Chiron wound, your relationship that you have with your inner child and what your inner child experienced at the age of, let's say, from 0 to 6 or 7 to 14. Believe it or not, the age from 7 to 14, we carry a lot of energy during that time. Besides for the logical, like the average girl and guy goes through puberty between 7 to 14, just our hormones in itself, but also the spiritual and emotional connections in reference to fitting in, being wanted, being seen, being heard, being appreciated, being deserved. All of that takes place between that 7 to 14 time span. And at any given time through that 7 to 14 years of age, you were not seen, you were not appreciated, you were not accepted, you didn't feel worthy. All that starts to embody your body. So that's where you want to really go and take a look at, not going on a calorie deficit, because that only means, again, now you're restricting. You're doing the very thing that took place to you from the age of 7 to 14. You're being restricted. You're being left out. And by being left out, that's not going to help you reshape and recompose your body. That's only going to cause you to hold on to some more weight and resistance. And we don't want that. We don't want to hold on to any more weight and resistance. We really want to get to the bottom of wherever you felt left out, wherever you felt like you weren't being seen, wherever you felt like you weren't being heard. You know, where were you that one child that when you were about to play a sport and they were going to pick teams, you were the last one to be chosen because no one wanted you on the team. That's where you were left out. So think about it in reference to the same concept regarding calorie deficit. It's not about a calorie deficit. You need your calories. Your calories is what makes up the energy for your body. So if you're not giving your body enough energy, enough calories, your body is not going to be able to function the way it needs to function to perform all your daily functional tasks that you want to do in your day. Nevertheless, put on muscle. And muscle is so important for men and women. Muscle is so important for men and women. As I just explained to you, just to get out of a chair requires you to use muscles, whether it's your arms helping you to get up or your legs helping you to get up or your back. How many of you have tried to get out of a chair and by standing up, you literally hurt your back? That's letting you know your core muscles and your back muscles are not strong enough just to do something functional. So it's not about spot reducing. It's not about I'm going to train so many days and focus on this one muscle to help it reduce its size. It's about working on releasing whatever took place from the age of 7 to 14, and maybe even younger, 0 to 6. Those are the two ages. And when we talk about that age period of time, that cycle of time, we're literally talking about the root chakra and the sacral energy. Now, if you're not familiar with your chakra system, the root chakra is literally located down at your tailbone. The root chakra is about survival, it's about fear, it's about protection, it's about feeling safe, it's about being provided for. And the people that are responsible for that for you when you're that age are your parents, your teachers, your family. And if for whatever the reason you didn't get that, then there's where your survival comes in. Now, for survival, that means you might need to hold on to weight because you need to feel protected. You don't want to be this feeble person. So indirectly, your psyche brings on this weight to protect you. Now, your sacral energy is right in your lower part of your belly. That's that connection that you have with your mother in the womb. That's that connection you have with your mother during the conception, at the time that she conceived you. That relationship between you and her. What kind of relationship is that? Because that is what's going to be the thing you have to work on to release. So whatever you're carrying in your midsection, you can release it. Remember the actual exercises that we do, whether it's rotations or diagonals or leg raises or crunches, those are exercises to help strengthen the body. However, we don't really need to do those particularly. We do them because, again, cosmetically speaking, it's just something most trainers put into a client's program. However, you're working your core muscles anytime you are standing. Even when you're sitting, if you get in the habit of sitting up tall without leaning into the back of the chair, and you learn to sit in your tailbone, you are engaging your core muscles. So your core muscles are always on fire. They are always working as long as you're engaging them. So it's not about, I'm going to go work on my abdominal muscles because I need to trim them down. It's not about, I'm going to go on a calorie deficit so I can start to see the starvation in my body. It really is about, let's tap into what took place during the age of 7 to 14, what was going on in your life at that time. And let's see if there's anything there that you want to work on releasing, so you no longer need to hold on to the emotional weight of it. And once you get to that point where you work on releasing the emotional weight of that age, that's when you're going to start to notice your body changing, the body composition shifting. The strength training comes in to help you recompose your body, to help your body get stronger. And as you age, if you are not strength training, you literally lose up to 3% of muscle every year by not strength training. So it's not about spot reducing, it's not about spot training. So the next time you're thinking about working a particular muscle, ask yourself, what is it you're looking to work the muscle for? To help your arms get stronger, to help your legs get stronger, to help your back get stronger, to help your chest get stronger. Working your chest muscles, such as doing a push-up or an incline press or a deep dumbbell fly, that's to keep your chest muscles uplifted and to help your back muscles, especially for women who are busty. It's very important to make sure your chest muscles are strong. Otherwise, what happens, especially when we sit, we end up hunching over because our chest muscles are underdeveloped. So it's so important to work those muscles to get stronger. So it's not about spot reduction or training or spot training. It really is about, go back and ask yourself, what was going on in my life when I was 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? What was going on? Start asking yourself, at what point in my life did I start to put on this weight? What was going on in your life at the time that you started putting on the weight? When you can define what was going on in your life at the time when you started putting on the weight, not necessarily about the hormones and puberty, it's about the emotional component. Did you experience maybe a very close family member passing away? Did you have some sort of trauma that happened? What was going on in your life at the time? Dissect it. And once you dissect it, once you can understand what was going on, then you can start working on, are you ready to release the emotional connection to that story? And by doing that, that will then help you to then start letting go of whatever weight it is that you feel you want to let go of, releasing the weight. So it's not spot reduction. It's not about a calorie deficit. You need your calories. It's not about, we're going to spot train, so we're going to focus on working the back 3 days a week. You know, working on the back 3 days a week just means you're going to make your back stronger, is all it is. It's not going to trim it down until you really start working on your story. What is your story? What are you holding on to? And again, this goes totally against what most trainers, coach, and nutritionists talk to you about in regards to, well, we want to put the fork down, and that's how we're going to start to see the body start to reshape itself. It's not about putting the fork down. It's about really understanding your story. Really understanding your story. What was going on at the time when you started possibly putting the weight on? Yes, theoretically, whatever was going on at the time, at that time, based on your emotions, you probably were craving certain foods. You probably might have been craving sweets. Sweets, when we talk about sweet food, we eat sweet food because we're missing the sweetness of life. So there's something in your life that you're missing or you don't have, and that's why you may be craving something sweet. When you think about salty food, it's the same thing. When your body's looking for salt, it's 90% of the time it's because you're probably dehydrated. You're probably dehydrated. When I speak of dehydrated, it's not always about dehydrated where you're not getting enough water. It could be that you're just dehydrated on life. You're not being hydrated. Something's not filling you up. The same concept goes when someone's experiencing acid reflux. It's like, okay, so what about your life? Are you not able to really digest? Is there something going on in your life that you're not digesting that you constantly keep bringing up? The metaphysical explanation. Everything has a metaphysical explanation. So I'm going to leave you with that because, like I said, I was going to keep this short for today. For those of you who are just hopping in now, I'd like to thank you for being here. Feel free to go back and watch from the very beginning. And if you take away anything today from today's topic about spot reducing, spot training, remember, it's not about a calorie deficit. It's not about, I'm going to do all these different types of abs and spend 15, 20 minutes a day working on my ab muscles so I can get the striation in my body so I can see my abs. It really is about, what is your weight connected to? What is the weight connected to? Go back and think about when you were 7 to 14 years old. What was going on in your life at that time? What trauma was taking place? Did you experience a loss? Did you experience a loss? What was your life like as a child? Were you that child that everybody wanted on their team? Or were you that child that got picked last? Because that is the very thing that you have to work on releasing, emotionally speaking, so you can release the weight that you hold on to. I'd like to invite you to come join me on February 5th, I think, no, not 5th, February 4th. No, February 5th. February 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will post a link in the comments later. I will be speaking at this amazing event. It's an all-day event. You can register for it. It's a free event, and I will be speaking about, let me see if I can find the title here. See if I can find the title, so bear with me a moment. I will be speaking about a very similar topic. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, my. Hang in there, folks. My title, for the life of me. Oh, my. Where did I do with it? What did I do with it? What did I do with it? It would be nice if I knew the title. Give me a sec. I will find it. I'm determined. And I only had it here because I was only chatting about it a little while ago. So just bear with me a moment. I will get it. I know I will. And maybe I won't. I need to have these things in front of me at the time when I need to talk about them. Anyway, like I said, come join me on February 4th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I will put the link in the comments here so you can learn more about this particular topic. It's related to Jupiter's energy. Jupiter right now, the planet of expansion, spiritual growth, and our spiritual gifts. And if you don't know anything about Jupiter, Jupiter carries the energy of expansions, not just in our external world, but also in our body weight. Whatever sign Jupiter is in collectively, that particular energy expands. Right now, Jupiter happens to be in Taurus. So anyone that carries Jupiter Taurus energy, so you would have to look at your astrological chart to see where Jupiter is on your chart. So if you happen to have Jupiter in Taurus or even in your second house, there's a good probability. Now, when I say, Jupiter in Taurus or second house, there's a good probability that during this time that Jupiter has spent in Taurus, which has been a year, you probably most likely put on a little weight. And there's a reason for it. And that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing and chatting with about when I speak at this amazing event on February 4th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So I'm inviting you to come join me, and I will put the link in the comments here once I'm off this live, and you can learn about Jupiter's energy. Jupiter will be crossing into Gemini's energy on May 26th of 2024. That's very soon. So those of you who carry a Jupiter in Gemini and or Jupiter in your third house, there could be a probability that you may find yourself putting on some weight during that transit. Jupiter spends 1 year in a zodiac sign. So it's really important to pay attention to that energy. Now, I also want to throw in there with that conversation for those of you who may have sun, moon, or rising in water signs, such as Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Because you're mostly water, your element is water, you want to also pay attention to when Jupiter goes retrograde, because that will affect your sign as well when it's in retrograde. So it's really important to start paying attention to your astrological information, where the planets are and how it does affect your actual astrological makeup. And this is a true thing. This is not just something I'm making up, and it's not just about woo-woo. This is really about you. So you really want to go and check out your astrological chart and see where Jupiter is. It's the one and only planet that does affect your weight. It's the one and only planet that does affect your weight. So it's the Jupiter's energy, and whatever sign it's in, it will also impact the house of that sign as well. And want to bring to your attention that Jupiter does rule. I'm going to get that information for you too. So let me get that for you. I was just talking about that. Jupiter does rule, as I keep repeating it, because I figure it's going to get to me. Jupiter does rule Pisces, and it also rules Sagittarius. So if you happen to have Sagittarius or Pisces where Jupiter is, pay attention. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it will affect your sign as well. So I'm going to leave you with that. Again, spot reducing, spot training is not about a calorie deficit, and it's not about spending a whole lot of time on a particular muscle just because you want that muscle to quote unquote shrink. I know many, many women out there who focus on training the lower part of their bodies, because most women carry weight in their lower part of their bodies, thinking that by doing lots of squats and lunges and abductors and step ups is going to trim down the legs. The only way you're going to trim down your legs to release whatever weight you're carrying in your legs is really going back and looking at the age of 7 to 14 to find out what was the reason why your body took on this weight. It's not about a calorie deficit. I'm going to leave you with that. If you have questions or comments, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to have a conversation with you. And for those of you who've never experienced a complimentary session from me, you can go ahead and grab yourself a 15-minute complimentary self-growth discovery session. We can explore your astrological makeup, your astrological chart. We can also explore your story from when you were from 7 to 14 years old. You can choose one or the other, because we only have 15 minutes together. So I can help you release the physical weight that your body carries. I can help you to release it. It's not about a calorie deficit. It's definitely not about cutting out your carbohydrates. You need your carbohydrates for energy. And if you want to learn more about the protein, how much protein you need to take in, go and check out my YouTube channel, Holistic Fitness NY. You can find all that information there. That particular challenge was recorded, and you will definitely want to know how much protein you do need to take in order for your body to get the results you're looking for your body to get. Know that we are in the age of Aquarius, and this is all about the vision you have for yourself, holding the vision for yourself of being the best version of you and being in the healthiest body you can be in now going forward. Again, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon, and I enjoyed being here with you. Leave those questions and comments, and let's have a conversation one-on-one so I can help you explore your astrological makeup and also what was going on in your life from 7 to 14, because that is going to be the key to helping you release whatever weight you want to release, not a calorie deficit. Continue lifting your fork and fueling and feeding your body. Have an amazing, amazing day wherever you are in the world. Until next time, bye-bye for now.